Welcome back to Munchie Monday. Today I'm making chili. It's my favorite chili because it's one pot, super easy, and uses a bunch of veggies that I like. And it's easy to clean your fridge out with this recipe because you can just put whatever you want. I'm just throwing whatever vegetables I have and whatever I want it to have. So there you go. And also, if you make this recipe, just follow the instructions down below. Look how pretty the sun is today. It's so nice out, but it's actually really hot. But now I'm making a really hot recipe, so tell me why I did that. Anyways, I'm sweating. If you can't see, I'm sweating. But this is my favorite recipe, so I'm gonna make it. And it's after the 4th of July, so I wanted something easy, so here you go. And I'm sweating. Enjoy this recipe, I hope you do. First things first is cutting up an onion. Just get it into little chunks. It doesn't really matter how big or small. I like to use just like bite-sized or so pieces. That's just kind of how I chop it up. But honestly, anything that you can get kind of small and kind of uniform is perfectly fine. In this, I find any big chunks kind of just saute down, so it's okay. Thing I like to add is baby carrots. It's so much easier to chop these, I think, and then you don't have to peel them or anything, and they're just like perfectly bite-sized pieces. Next, I like to chop up at least like one red pepper or green pepper, any kind of pepper. I find this adds a really good sweetness as it cooks, and it's just one of my favorite vegetables of all time to add into anything cooked because it's just so tasty and just releases so much good flavor when you add it to any kind of soup, chili, anything you saute up. It's really great. Then you just add all of these into a pot and put it on at least medium heat and just let that kind of saute together. Finally moved that bag from the screen. That was annoying me so much. Anyways, so next I like to peel and chop my potatoes, sweet potatoes. If you don't like to peel them, it takes a while, but I just personally don't like the skin, so that's why I do this extra step, but you can totally keep it. It's fine. This is the type of pieces you kind of want in your chili. It doesn't have to be exact or anything. I usually just go for thumb-sized or just decent amount of bite-sized pieces so that you don't have to sit there and chop it while you're eating it. But this is kind of just the way I like to chop it up. So here you go. I'm chopping up now 2 jalapenos. This one was not looking so hot, so I definitely had to use it up today. But I definitely don't like it overpowering spicy or anything. I like to add a little bit of spice. So just how you do that is you take out the ribs or the insides and the seeds because that's where you get a lot of the heat from. But I do like to have just a little bit of spice when I'm cooking. Also, when I cook for my family, I don't want to add a lot of spice because everyone has a different preference. I know my younger sister likes to eat a lot of spicy food, but then my parents don't necessarily want a lot of spice. So definitely keep that in mind for how you kind of want your chili. If you want it more on the spicy side, more on the other side. I also recommend using Chipotle peppers. Not think of the words. So it's Chipotle peppers and adobo. You can find them in little cans in your international Mexican aisle. They're really great. You can take out the ribs as well, like a jalapeno. Kind of chop it the same way. It's really great to add like a good amount of spice. Also, the sauce in there is the best to cook with. It is so great. That was what I usually use, but today I just had jalapenos and that's just what I had. So this is what I'm using. I like to make them really tiny, so this is kind of the way I do it. So there you go. Also, I know that some people don't like jalapenos, and chopping them also make sure you don't get your eyes because that juice will fly everywhere. So just be careful. Might have been wondering why the heck I was using onion and not garlic. Me too. Honestly, I totally forgot about this, but I'm adding 3 cloves of garlic in here because that stuff just makes everything so much freaking better. Like, It's so good. Like, I don't know how you cook without onions and garlic. If you don't start there, then I don't know what you're doing. That's like the cooking 101, onions and garlic. So definitely add that. You pretty much just add them all together. You might want to turn the heat up a little bit more if it's not already sauteing down. I always add water as I go just to make sure nothing sticks, and just give it a good mix. It should kind of come together like this and be steamy. Once that's been cooking for a while, you're going to want to add all of your spices in. So these are all the spices I use. Link in description will have the full recipe, all the details, but this is just the base of any good chili that I find is the best combination. So there you go. So here I'm adding them all together. I just placed them in a bowl just so it's easier for me to hold the phone and pour all this in together, because I've never filmed all of this just by using one hand, and let me tell you, that's hard work. So here I am mixing with one hand, but yeah. Next step is adding a can of diced tomatoes. I usually use 2 smaller cans, the 15 ounces, or I just use a big 28-ounce can because it just works better. Next step is to rinse and drain your beans. I'm using kidney beans here. It's really, really important for digestion to really get those bubbles out. Like, really make sure there's nothing left there. Use your hands, use anything you can, shake it around, whatever. I did the exact same thing to the black beans, and I added both of those into the pot. So one little trick I have for this is when you're adding any kind of water or liquid to this, make sure you use that tomato can, because it adds all the rest of that tomato flavor, and as well it just like limits your waste, so you don't have to clean like another thing. And I use this because I'm going to be adding quinoa in here, so I want to make sure I have some water. Another tip is to add some kind of vegetable broth, chicken broth, whatever. Since I'm vegan, I'm going to use this broth base. It's actually chicken flavored. It's literally just the spices of what a chicken broth would have. So I'm just going to add 2 teaspoons to it because I added about a cup or so of water. It's super easy. You just take a teaspoon out and you just mix it in with all the other ingredients. The last step is to add your quinoa, and it brings a lot of more protein in here. So it's 6 grams for every half cup, and I'm adding a whole cup. So you just want to make sure you mix it around when you add it in, so you make sure everything is coated evenly into the water, because it's going to absorb that water. And make sure you bring it up to a boil and let it cook for about 15 minutes. And that really will come together and really bring out the flavor. Once the whole thing is coming to a boil, you want to make sure that you turn the heat a little bit down so it's not going to bubble over top of everything. So about low heat, medium low. And then you want to put a lid on, but you want to make sure half of it is out. So make sure that steam is allowed to be released. So this is going to take about 15 minutes for the quinoa to cook. Also, the birds in my yard, if you can't hear them, really loud. Get out of here. I'm trying to film. Like, love you, but get out here. Also, if you didn't know, that's a blue jay. And side note, they're actually the worst kind of bird because they take over other birds' nests, and they are invasive and really mean and really obnoxious, and they sound so annoying. So there you go. I mean, I like all animals, but blue jays, don't really need those things. So with about 5 minutes to go, I like to add some spinach in just so that it adds more greens. So this is the final product. It's so good. So if you don't add Cholula on everything, I don't know what you're doing. You got to. And I put a little bit basil on here. That's so not traditional, but I love basil on everything. And it's summer and I have a basil plant. It's so good. Mix it up. Oh, the spice went right in my nose. Okay. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I love chili. Such a funny angle I have going on here. Okay. Mixy, mixy. I love Munchie Monday. It's so hot. Nom, nom, nom. 10 out of 10. All fingers. Thumbs ups. Oh, so hot. Nom, nom. Like this video if you enjoyed this. I want to make more recipes like this, and I think it's super important to be able to create vegan recipes at home, especially now, but also allowing yourself to not have to clean a bunch of dishes, because that's not one of my favorite things to do. That's the worst thing, the worst part about cooking is the dishes. I wanted to make this recipe so that you guys can see veganism is no way hard to make, and is no way takes 20 different vegetables or anything, and you don't have to sacrifice your favorite vegetables at all. I always liked red peppers, sweet potatoes. Just find your favorite vegetables and just use them as you can, and it makes things so much easier. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment saying what your favorite vegetable is and what you would put in your chili, because I'm really interested to see what you guys put into your chili, because I like this type of vegetables, but if you add something different than I did, please comment that down below. And then also subscribe if you're not already subscribed. It really helps my channel and it helps me grow. I'm really excited to share more recipes like this, and I can't wait to show you guys some more. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye. I will leave links below on more information about blue jays, but they actually are very, very aggressive. So they beat out other birds that are suffering from the bird feeders, and they just attack everything, and they're just super obnoxious little birds. They're very pretty. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna insert a picture right here. They're very pretty, but they are freaking annoying. Just gonna say it.